What have you thought in general of the secondary through 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably like every position, you can come up with a reel of film that you get real excited about. You can come up with some clips that leave you wanting more, certainly. I mean, there's some vertical passing game that I was really disappointed with. An opposite color jersey behind you is never going to be a good thing, and then you can't say, well, it happens sometimes. Those things can't happen. The easiest way to get beat is somebody run by it. So there's a couple clips of that, which is really disappointing. Now, again, percentage-wise, I think it's tilted in our favor. I thought real physical work this past weekend. I was really impressed from a safety perspective. Really want to highlight those guys, Bryson and Max, and Kalen and Jalen's playing at the elite level. And getting C-Row, Christian Roman was had some corner too, mixing that up as well. So, no, I mean, I think that the challenges will just keep getting steeper and steeper and steeper, including here in 2 weeks. So, no, probably like a lot of positions, you can the highlights are good, and the low lights you got to do the right with.
I know Lincoln was talking about Domani just sort of getting into the swing of things. When you have a guy who's a veteran like Christian, does their balance kind of work out in the sense that maybe where Domani doesn't have that experience, Christian can step in? And
no, 100%, and that's no fault of Domani. I mean, that's reps matter, experience matters. If it didn't, we never talk about it, right? And so it's a whole lot different, being able to practice last fall. I mean, it's really and trying to steal some reps, and it's good to be full speed in fall camp. It's a whole different level of competing to make plays on Saturdays, and that's just playing at a different level in that. And so some of that is as always, you can't make up for that experience piece. And I mean, you talk about the potential, and you see it, and you can be more excited about a guy. But yeah, you've got to weather some of that, and learn from it.
Coach, how do you feel about the development of Solomon and Jalen?
Yeah, I mean, to watch Solomon, I mean, you talk about a guy that's playing at a different level right now. It's been exciting to watch, and that's one of those things that for any defensive line, when you have some production, that becomes the expectation. And so he's a guy that I absolutely would highlight as someone that has kind of been a catalyst for us. And I don't want to sound like I'm surprised. He just missed a lot of time in spring football, and had off-season surgery, and a guy come back at a different level. I think he's a good example of a guy, maybe like in Domani's case, where so much ball that he's played, and can draw from it. So, no, he's certainly been the MVP through 3 weeks.
Coach, I heard what you said about Tackett Curtis last night. As a coach, how do you balance wanting to get him reps because he's shown so much in practice, but needing to see that production to guarantee that he stays in there as the year goes on?
Yeah, I mean, I think uniquely in the first couple of games, because the scoreboard goes a certain way, and it allows you a little bit longer of a, I don't know, at least is not the right term, but the patience piece is acceptable, right? Because again, you're getting the outcomes that you want in terms of the final. Obviously this thing gets cranked up. I mean, last weekend the Pac-12 play, and on and on and on. And he's another individual you forget he didn't play a lot against Nevada. So it's really two games into his college career. We've seen 32 formations through 3 games, 50% motion. Imagine being an 18-year-old kid, showing up, and you got to hand. Oh, by the way, you're a starter. So no, you weigh all those things, and he's going to keep continuing to get better, and he will. And man, oh man, the things are correctable, and so much of it comes from the right place. The run and hit, but you got to make sure you hit the right thing, and you know where you're running to. So, no, we'll keep working. Again, there's not a team in the country that wouldn't want Tackett Curtis in linebacker, so we're excited to have him.
Based on Saturday's film, what are kind of the teaching points this week, or maybe for the first 3 weeks? What's the focus for the bye week?
Yeah, I think there's nothing we can't get better at. I mean, and that's certainly obvious. I think from a consistency standpoint, I think the low lights cannot be that low. We have to get to the point where a bad play defensively is a first down, not necessarily explosive. And so that's something that challenging the group. It's when you watch the film, you say, oh, all it is blank. Well, yeah, but it didn't get done. So is it confusion? Is it obviously credit to the offense and something. Is it one particular guy? Is it one particular position? And so all those things, with a bye week, you have a chance to evaluate all those things. but we got to correct it from an explosiveness standpoint. We just have to. I mean, it may not have led to as many points this past week, and in some cases, obviously, we're talking about some younger guys. The stats still matter. Whoever's in the game, I get it, and so you got to weather a little bit of that because you put them in the game, and so you kind of sort of knew maybe that might happen in some cases. But no, that's a big one, and so you circle that. I think from a third down production standpoint, you got to make sure that you got to win all the third and longs. I mean, you got to look at it through that lens, and making sure now you've got some things on video, and you got to look at it through the lens of, okay, what's next steps? Okay, you get a 3rd and 1 stop, and you showed a particular package. Okay, is there something else off of that? Now someone has a chance to evaluate you. You get a 4th down or goal line kind of stop last week. That's great in the moment, but okay, now what's next steps? Because now that's on video. So all those things the bye week kind of allows you to do.
Alex, it was clear from the viewing period today that you're really kind of challenging these defensive backs.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you kind of need to see? What's your evaluation after 3 games? What do you need to see from Sierra, from Domani, from those guys moving forward when you talk about that concept of turning bad plays into first down?
Yeah, I think just competitive reps, intentional competitive reps, and we use examples from the NFL, good and bad. And, you got to make sure that we weren't in any stadiums on Sunday. This is just I'm sharing with you. We had a conversation with the guys that there were explosive plays in every NFL stadium this Sunday, and none of us were there. So it's not unique to us. It's the position, and it's what's required of you. And what we'll never do is say, well, it's difficult to play blank coverage, or it's difficult to. That's what you got in that line when you were a little kid, and we recruited you to play that position, and we got to make sure we're getting better at all those things, whether it's coverage or tackling or any of those things. And so it's intentional reps, it's competitive reps, and one of the things we talk to the guys about too is, looking at it through the lens, you're not going to win all the moments, but you got to make sure percentage is in your favor, and you just don't want to miss moments. And so surviving the down is one of the things we talk about in DB lane. We're not looking to survive the down. We're trying to put ourselves in the best position to make plays when they do throw the football, not just be next to them when the ball's in the air and hopefully they do this at the end. And so just the competitiveness, the competitive reps at the catch point, it's not as if it's lacking. It's a 0%. We just, and if the percent was 80%, we wanted to be 90. But no, certainly in all respects, just more intentional competitive reps across the board.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.